my first thing, I've got my water already boiling from my grits. They're ready to add that now. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper to the grits, the water rather. And this is always to taste. So just starting off, I'm putting in a little bit of salt and pepper. I'm gonna add a little bit of butter.
Now, so you make sure your water is boiling before you start putting in your ingredients.
And I always want to make sure I have more water actually than grits, because I don't like my grits to be really, really thick.
I guess you can add grits.
And you can always add grits.
To take away.
Right. As soon as you put and people cook grits differently.
Right.
As soon as you put the grits in there, you keep stirring. You bring it up to another boil, and then you turn it down all the way to low. I'm going to add just a few more.
Now, I know some people I saw you add butter. I've also seen my great uncle, he used to add chicken stock to his grits.
Wow, that's interesting.
Chicken stock to grits, and it was actually really tasty. First time I saw him do it, I thought, now what is
that? I try to keep mine as plain as possible. That way people are able to incorporate whatever they want to. Some people want to add sugar to them. You know, add a little bit of bouillon to mine as well. But if I keep them as plain as possible, there are people just having them as breakfast food. If they want to add sugar or whatever, they're able to do that if I keep them as plain as possible. Too flavorful, right? So savory, because my shrimp is also going to be very savory.
Savory, that's
very savory.
Yes, very
savory. In fact, one day I cooked some grits at work once, and one of my coworkers, he's from New Orleans, he said, "Oh, Miss Knox, you from New Orleans?" Well, I'm not from New Orleans, and my mother is from the South. But you know, the key also too, I found, to cooking really good grits is having time to cook them.
Yeah, taking your time.
Taking your time. When you cook them really fast, they never turn out right. Well, that's what my great aunt used to tell us all the time. It takes time to cook food. Good food. My Aunt Willie Mae. It takes time to cook good food. You have to make sure it processes. And grits is also a grain, so you're going to make sure that it has time to swell. Just like oatmeal. It takes a while to cook. So those actually like the shrimp. And this time I got the shrimp that were already cooked and clean. You can use both, but for the sake of, you all said you were hungry, so I went back to the store. Yeah, I went back to the store and got shrimp that were already clean. I had both of them, because when I started thinking about the process of debating and all that, because you want to make sure you have really clean shrimp, that was going to take a little time. So anyway, I didn't want anybody climbing over the counter trying to get the food. So anyways, I went back to the store and got shrimp that was already cooked and clean, actually. So when you have cooking with shrimp, or making a dish with shrimp that's already cooked, you do that at the very last moment. Right, because you don't want your shrimp to be curled up like in a little coin. You want them to, because that's cooked too long. When they're really, really curled. So when they curl just slightly, you'll know they're almost done. So
a little pink.
And a little pink. Right, a little pink. So when I'm cooking them, I'm going to make sure when I'm putting them in, the mixture that I'm cooking them in, the spicy mixture, is already in the shrimp. Okay. So again, at home, if your shrimp turn into a coin, you've done too much. They're already pre-cooked. And so when you're cooking grits for your husband, and you're cooking grits for your woman, you want to make sure you take your time cooking them, however you're going to cook them. The spicy shrimp, you don't like this recipe.
Now, if I go back to the shrimp, so now are those, because you hear, especially in California, you hear, and I think it may be only here that you really hear this, shrimp and prawns. So what really is the difference between shrimp and prawns?
It's the size of them.
The size, right.
But actually, these are actually more prawns, and these are like 21, 25. And that 21, 25 goes to how many pounds, how many pieces you have per pound in the bag.
That's what I thought.
Okay. How many pieces you have per pound in the bag. And so these are actually a really good size, because when you're making shrimp and grits, and this is the main focus of your food,
of your meal,
is the seafood portion, the protein portion. You gotta make sure it's substantial enough that when people are eating it, they gotta get taste of what
and they get full.
And they get full.
Amen.
So you want to make sure you have that. So while the shrimp are actually, while the grits are cooking, I'm going to chop up my my bell pepper. My bell pepper will be part of this. So I'm going to chop up my bell pepper really fast here. And then I also have onions that I'm incorporating also with that. So I just have a half of red and green bell pepper. So I'm going to put in here.
And so you're going to saute your bell pepper and your onions and all those things together.
Exactly.
Okay.
I'm going to saute them together, and make sure the onions are sort of a translucent.
Okay.
So they sort of look opaque. So translucent is when they're just a little see-through.
Okay. So now for this meal, are we going for bell pepper that's crunchy or soft, tender?
No, when you cook, it's good. You're sauteing it,
Right.
so you're keeping a little bit of texture. Okay. So it's not going to be just soft vegetable. You want a little bit of texture. Okay. So I'm sauteing just enough that it's not strong.
Ah, okay.
So it'll blend well with the shrimp and with the grits. So it has more for texture and flavor.
Sounds wonderful. It's a quick meal too. I think.
A very quick meal.
I think the biggest cooking portion of are done because what's not good is undone.
Yes, exactly. And so different hairdos than she had last time.
Well, so as women, as we all know, as women, we spice it up. Speaking of spicy, we like to spice it up and change it up, and that's one of the benefits of being a woman, is you can do that. And so I was thinking, well, it may be time for a different look, although I love my natural look, and natural hair is a lot of work though. But I love my natural look. It's clean, it's easy, I think it's kind of sexy. But I thought, why not add a little more sexy? I thought I'd bring sexy back.
It's working for you, baby.
Thank you, baby. Thank you, Mama. Thank you. I try to keep it, 100.
Yes.
Even with my hair. So that's why I thought I'd, go and see what we do. And I think we were talking about this earlier. Do something else,
And for me, I put my hair weave style because I want to work out. And for we as women, black women, you can't just work out unless you're going to go to a natural hairstyle. Because if you have chemically permed hair, your hair is going to go back and it's not going to be cute.
Right.
It's just not going to be a good look.
Not sexy.
No, not at all.
Your sexy's been gone.
Exactly. So you either have to go straight or you need to go, natural. So what I decided was I'm going to commit myself to keeping the weave in for a while till I shed some pounds. And I like the versatility of being able to wear whatever style I want, work out, and just keep it moving.
That's true.
But the thing that we also said we wanted to discuss was the processes of taking care of our hair versus, our Caucasian sisters or our Asian sisters.
Right.
Taking care of our hair. Because if you go into a shop, say if you go into a shop and there's various stylists there, and sometimes and it's nothing that we're not being rude.
Right.
I just need to know that you can do my kind of hair too.
Care for my hair.
Because the type of shampoos and conditioners that you would use on a Caucasian lady would not be the same type of conditioner or shampoo that you would use on mine.
Right.
Because you would dry my hair out with the type of, because it would take the moisture out, the type of shampoos that you would use on a Caucasian lady's hair or an Asian woman's hair.
Let me feel it, but I'm going to saute first. I want to put the onions in first. They call it sweat them out a little. Sweating out a little. I'm heating up my pan a little bit for that. So I'm going to put that in first. The onions, actually. And everything is just a rough. I didn't use any garlic, just garlic and some of my spices I'm going to use. I'm going to use an Cajun spice, but I put it in there. And my little root here. And so they have it in there. A little bit of garlic.
We have to have a roux. We have to have a roux.
This is what you consider this a dinner meal or any time meal?
It can be both. It can be dinner. It can be brunch.
Okay.
I cooked breakfast actually for dinner for my godson the other day, and he just had a fit. Breakfast for dinner? I'm like, yes, we're gonna have breakfast for dinner. But breakfast for dinner, he just couldn't understand that. He cleaned his plate. He absolutely enjoyed it. So the next time he spent the night, are we gonna have breakfast for dinner? No, baby. But it can be for both, because the shrimp is sort of your segue. Yeah. Right. It can be a brunch meal, it could be a dinner meal, it could be a breakfast meal, whichever you want it. It's just very versatile like that. So I'm going to let the onions go ahead and saute a little bit over there. Like you were talking about your hair. Getting your hair did.
Yes. And so, had that experience. Tried to save a little money, went to the college, the little beauty school.
Right. Okay.
That was a total nightmare. Because they tried to color my hair and it started to turn green, which was not a cute look.
So they just didn't have enough experience.
They didn't have the experience.
Right.
You know, and in me going in, I'm thinking, when these young ladies or these young men go to cosmetology school, they're being trained on all types of hair, and sometimes that's not necessarily
Right.
the case.
Right.
You know,
I went to the beauty college a couple of times. Did go. I knew someone who worked in there.
Exactly. That's a good
And
thing.
so I had as my mom would say, I had a relationship.
A relationship.
I had a relationship with them. So it does make a difference before you go in there, making sure you know who's actually in there in the shop.
Yeah.
I'm going to stir the grapes a little, see how they're doing. They're doing just fine. So a few more minutes on those.
And you got your...
My onions are sauteing.
Okay. And you put that, I'm sorry, you put in that pan some EEVO?
A little EVO. And so I'm going to wait till that. I don't want to put too much in the pan at the same time, because then it'll start to steam. And I don't want it to steam just yet. I want it to cook a little bit first before I put that in there. So I'm going to wait a little bit before I add the bell pepper, because they have a lot of water in them.
Okay. So yeah, so with the hair, so as I said, I'm going to wear this for a while, you know, and see what's going on. And I was a little hesitant in getting it, because, you know, you're thinking, oh, this is going to make my, you know, this is going to really change my look a lot more than what, you know, how you kind of have who you are and your personality, and I didn't want that to change. But then as I'm getting out of this, I'm thinking about what I'm doing next, and next I'm going to do this. So y'all may see a different Kim in the next episode.
Yes, I think
So
I'm
stay
going
tuned.
to do the same. I told the lady today, and I think I'm going to put some color.
Yeah.
Just you know, a little mahogany brown, you know,
Yeah.
mix it up a little bit. You can do that, because you can be versatile.
Come back out, And even with the wigs, I mean, they're making hair now is becoming, and I think as women, you know, we're busier, our lifestyles are busier, and sometimes you don't have time to go to a shop and sit in there 6 and 8 hours.
I just don't.
You know, you just don't, but you still want to look good.
And I want to look good.
You still want to look good, and so just the wigs that they have, I think, has created so much versatility, you know, for women, and not just women of color, but all women.
Yes.
I mean, everybody's into wigs and
Pieces.
And I love it. I just think it's just, you know, a wonderful part of being a woman. Just all the versatility that we can do, even with the natural hair.
Exactly.
You know, natural hair is hot right now too. It's just hot, period, because it's easy, it's simple, and looks nice. Like Kay, you know, with her natural hair, then you put some color in it.
Yeah.
You know.
You know what? I really enjoyed my natural hair. I've been wearing my hair natural now for maybe almost 20 years.
Yeah.
20 years.
For a while.
You know, it takes a little bit more work in terms of finding just the right product.
Exactly.
That's the
But
key.
I like being free, because even I wore weaves at one time. It was very sexy.
Yeah, it was sexy.
Yeah, it was a very long.
You watched that today.
Yeah, thank you.
When she walked in the
I
room.
appreciate that. I appreciate that. And you know what? It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was sort of like you have you put on different hair. It's sort of like you have an alter ego.
Yes.
Yeah. That was your Sasha.
That's good every now and then. And so it's sort of like you have an alter ego. And so, you know, that was my Sasha.
Yeah,
that was my Sasha. And so, but you know, it gets a little hot underneath. Right. You know, and all of that. But I do like my natural hair a lot. And you're able to, you know, add a wig or a weave or what have you. To different hairdos.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But it is more work too, though.
And the reason I use red and green, just to add a little color to the dish.
It smells good. I smell it.
Yeah, it adds a lot of color to the dish when you add a little bit of the different colored bell peppers, whether it's the orange, the yellow, or what have you. Just adds a little color to the dish.
Now, Kay, since you've worn natural and weave, which do you find takes the most time in the morning? If you get up and go to work in the morning,
You know what?
takes the most time?
Well, definitely if I look like
I'm gonna say
when I woke up in the morning, whether it's going to be one of these
Yeah.
or just, you know, down. You know, so that's because I wasn't used to that.
Right.
I wasn't used to wearing long hair, so that's something why it took a long time, because I wasn't used to that.
Right.
This particular hairdo I have, I can just wake up and fluff it in the morning, and
Right.
it's going about even though this changes up daily as well.
Right.
But I know I'm just fluffing it up in the morning and going Yeah, but it was fun though.
Yeah.
But for me, I take care of my.
You do hair well.
Yes,
hair is very serious for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I do wrap my. I treat it like it's mine.
Right. Okay.
So I will, like tonight, I want it to be cute for tomorrow, so I'm going to sleep on my hands, or I have a roll pillow because I. Yes. And then get up and take a bath instead of a shower.
That's one of the reasons why I went to natural hair.
You ain't doing all that.
I want to sleep well. I don't want to sleep like this. I think that was one of the driving forces that I just. But you look in the morning though.
Yes.
I can tell you may be a little tired.
Yeah,
your hair is real cute.
Yeah, you know when I slept on my hands.
Miss Cindy, you were thinking like a geisha.
Yes.
So I'm gonna add. So my bell peppers and onions are doing great now. I'm gonna add. I have 2 cans. I'm sorry, of 14.5-ounce petite tomatoes. They have a little bit of garlic in them.
Okay.
And a little bit of basil.
Okay.
So I'm gonna add this to the
you
mixture.
combine them like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
This is 2 cans of that. Yeah. So that's already done.
Very nice.
If you want, you're feeling adventurous, you can chop up your tomatoes if you like. Is it diced? Diced. Okay. The diced.
If you like any of the recipes that you've seen on the show, including today's spicy shrimp recipe, check it out at bayareacooking@yahoo.com. Email us there, and we're happy to get you any other recipes that you've seen. Make sure you check us out there. And also, if you have some topics that you would like to hear discussed on the show, or you have some questions,
yes, most definitely.
Again, go ahead and email us at bayareacooking@yahoo.com. We'd love to hear from you.
Potatoes and the onion is looking really, really good. It's smelling. We're going to add a few of the spices in. I have about a teaspoon of cayenne pepper that I'm adding in. Also about a teaspoon of chili flakes. Add to that a few minutes just to make sure you have enough seasoning, because usually when food is hot, it tastes spicy or more magnified. So you want to wait a few minutes before you taste it, just to make sure you have enough seasoning in it, especially when you've added, all those tomatoes. I'm going to put the lid on this to let this marinate a little bit, or simmer rather. And then we'll add the shrimp at the very, very end.
So now, because I remember when we had my brunch that you hosted for my 40-something birthday.
we called it the Legend Brunch.
Yes, it was.
We sorry, yes, we brought back the Legend Brunch.
Yes, we did.
Bay Area style.
Yeah, Bay Area style. Yes.
But I know that you made that dish, and I was just trying to remember how you prepared it and how we plated it. I didn't see it all together. I remember it being separate.
Yeah, I keep it separate because from brunch food.
Right.
So you keep it separate so people can add if they want to add.
Right.
And then you may have both of them left over, so you don't want that mixture to be left over.
Right.
So you keep them separate, and at the time of serving, so you put a little cheese on it on top of the grits, and then you add on top of that the shrimp. Spicy shrimp mixture. So crusty bread with that on the side. Because actually the shrimp and the grits, of course, have everything you need. There's a little bit of vegetables, your protein, your grain, and all of that. So it has just about everything already. So it has a little bit of crusty bread. And tasty drink.
Yeah, and I was just thinking, I was just sipping, and I thought, well, for you brethren out there who perhaps, like a little libation, this may be nice if you, like to add maybe a little
whatever it is,
champagne or a passion fruit juice drink, and just some basic passion fruit. I poured maybe about a quarter cup of the passion fruit in there, and then I finished it off with just something that's sparkling, 7-Up or Sprite. And then what I cut up today, instead of oranges, I did some cuties. I'm into cuties lately. I think they're quick, they're easy, they're really, really sweet, and it's a nice snack. So I cut up some cuties, and thus you have your passion fruit juice today. A little something on it, I think will be quite nice with this.
Yes. Give a little kick.
Give them, If you have your girlfriends over, or your friends over, or cook dinner for your significant other, I think this is a nice, fruity, refreshing drink to have.
And some men call these women drinks, or what they call it, girly drinks.
Girly drinks.
Yes.
As they gulp them up.
Exactly. They want the boys to
Yeah. As they gulp them up. So it is real tasty. It's tasty, and it's just something simple. Things you have in your refrigerator.
Exactly. Checking on them, make sure they're not too thick. too soupy or anything like that. They're doing just fine.
Come in to say maybe shopping or in church or at a function, and their hair is all whooped up, and their little girl's hair is up.
This gonna be good.
I just don't like that. It bothers me.
Well, I mean, it does kind of cause you to concern, I think everyone has their reasons why they do that, or
They come already put together, the ponytails, and I just touch them up. But whatever put your strengths and your weaknesses to get your little girl's hair done.
Go to the shop.
Go to the shop.
That's true.
But I just think it looks
Pepper put there. I'm going to taste I'm going to taste the milk. It's really, really hot. Okay, I'm going to add the shrimp to our mixture. I've turned down the heat. I've turned off the heat, rather. I'm going to add the shrimp. So basically, since the shrimp is already cooked, we're only just heating it up.
Okay. And folding it in.
And folding it in, exactly. I don't have to cook it anymore because my mixture was already, cooking together. So just folding it in a little bit.
So you turn the fire off.
I turn the fire off because the shrimp is actually already done. It's just heating up.
Okay.
I'm going to put the lid on again just for a few minutes. Looks really, really good.
Wonderful.
Really, really good.
Well, thank the Lord, we avoided the shutdown.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, yes.
I called my sister at 8 o'clock that morning. What's going on with you? But she works at the VA hospital, so.
Okay.
Girlfriends who I don't think their jobs are so they're important to them.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
But and they were going to be affected.
Okay.
And so I'm just so thankful that that was avoided and everyone can keep working. And then I was listening to the news. They were talking about, which I hadn't thought about, the military families and how much it would have affected them.
Yes.
And most of them are living paycheck to paycheck. They said that. They're living paycheck to paycheck, and missing a paycheck would be detrimental for them.
Hold on 1 second. In hot sauce. Just a little dollop, just for extra additional flavor. Carry on.
Okay. But I didn't think about military families, but that's really, that's real. You know what I mean?
Because we were in a Bible study last night, and this one young lady, she said that she didn't know whether she was going to be able to report to work on Monday.
Yeah, that's significant.
Yes. A lot of people.
Yes, that is significant.
And you can't, it's not like you get unemployment. You have no money to cover your bills for that period of time. So.
Yes. I mean, you really think about, you think about, I work in the private sector, and so, of course, the economy has affected me, dramatically. Thank God. It hasn't affected me in terms of my pocket, but, it has affected our company. But when you think about, I may not have a paycheck next week, that's real. That's real, and that's really, something really, and then not have a paycheck with a family, and you have children, and, that's really something good that was avoided.
Yes.
And, people are able to get paid and, take care of their families, and especially, people in the military, who are Southern, and I do want him to continue getting his paycheck.
Exactly.
Yeah. I do want him to continue getting his paycheck. Yes.
I got a little bit of crunchy sourdough bread to go with our meal. I'm going to slice this up for you ladies. How many pieces did you want?
I'll take one.
Okay. Okay.
Well, I want two.
Yes, but okay.
I'll have one.
For now, we just have the one.
Yes.
I can smell it again. Thank you.
And the shrimp should be already heated up. But if you guys don't mind, I'm going to serve you. Okay, no problem. I'm going to ladle up the shrimp and grits. That's turned out wonderful.
Oh, good.
Nice and creamy.
You're a good grit maker.
You know what? I've practiced that.
Yes.
Yeah, I would have to do that next day. I always thought you made grits quickly.
No, they take a little bit. If you want them nice and creamy, it takes a little bit of time. It does take a little bit of time if you want them nice and creamy.
And you can tell the difference too when they've been slow cooked and when they've been,
My friend makes his grits. Remember those grits he made? She put everything in the world in his grits.
Oh, they were good. They were
They were very good.
They were.
because in this kitchen they're gonna talk about me today.
She made sure her grits don't hold the money. They were good too.
So I'm gonna ladle this up, give you a little bit of the sauce and some of the shrimp. Miss Kim?
Very good.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
that looks
Wonderful.
with that.
Now you got mozzarella cheese, or does it matter?
It doesn't matter. You know what? I got a white cheese. I got this mixture between mozzarella and color. I wanted to keep my grits white.
Okay.
I still wanted to add a little cheese, but keep them white.
Okay.
Delicious.
Gourmet restaurant.
Delicious.
This will cost you about $20. And it's difficult at all.
Just really simple. You can even do this if you have all your things ahead of time. You can do this like one evening. You know, if you know,
Exactly.
I know I have some
Because
shrimp,
really,
I know I
really
have some grits. You just make some shrimp and grits. Yeah. Yeah.
More so having the seasonings at home.
Mhm.
This is, and then your shrimp.
I mean, everybody has.
Delicious.
Well, I won't say everybody, but most of us, with sun kissed skin, keep about the grits in our in our cabinet.
The bell peppers still have texture.
Yes.
So not really, really cooked down.
But they do.
So it's very, very, very flavorful.
And the shrimp are perfect.
Yes.
They're not overcooked. They're not rubbery. They're perfect. Which may cause him to put a ring on it if he hasn't already. You know, if he hasn't already, this might
This might help you out. Yes. Glad you joined in with us with our spicy shrimp and grit dish. Nina and Kim, your hair looks wonderful. And Nina, yours looks fabulous as well. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time on Bay Area Cooking and Conversation.